What's up everybody, how's it going? My name is Tony with Torian Tech, and today we're actually going to be doing something really special for the seniors. We're going to be showing y'all how to safely search the internet. In this video, we're going to have a couple different topics. We're going to explain everything about a web browser. Some of y'all, you're getting to the point where the world is just moving too fast for you, my grandparents included. And so that's why I came here to break it down nice and smooth for all of you. I'll just start off by saying, if you found this video, you're already ahead of most people, so give yourself a nice pat on the back. But are you ready to get in? Let's do it, y'all. All right, guys, so step one, what is a web browser? You can think of a web browser as a tool on every computer, smartphone, and tablet, and we use this tool to access the internet. It's got a lot of nice things inside of it to aid us, but let's just say if you want to search for something online, you don't know where it's at, or you know the exact location of something, or maybe you've been to something online in the past and you want to go again. These are all features and functionalities of a web browser. Just understand that this is a program and you can think of this as your doorway to the internet. So let's talk about maybe the most important feature for you as a new internet user, the search bar. The search bar, as you can see here, is at the top of almost all web browsers, and they come with two different functionalities. You can search addresses, or you can search terms and phrases. What I mean by that is, if you know the exact website name of a location or of a company, you can type that in, like toriantech.com. Or if you don't quite know their web address, but you know maybe the name of a company, you can type in Torian Tech, Huntsville, Alabama, and it'll take you to information that may lead you to the website you're looking for. Let's put that into practice. We're going to go over here to Safari because that's the one I prefer to use, but in Google it's just the same. And let's type in Torian Tech here and see what that does. As you see, it pulls up all the information Google can find, because what we did was we did a normal query search. And even though you see that here and you see that here, they look similar because by typing just a phrase without .com or .org or anything specific, it says, hey, go search the internet for information on this. And that's exactly what it did. It's automatically going to use your preferred search browser, which for me is Google. If you were to go to the Google Chrome plugin, it would do the exact same thing right here. Now, if you notice here, my website name is toriantech.com. Let's type that into the search bar and see what that does. Look at that. It goes directly to the website. The main difference is we completed what's called the URL. Now let's check out the URL here. As you can tell, it's got everything you need to go specifically to the website. That includes the .com. This stuff in the beginning, it's not so important. We're going to talk about what HTTPS really stands for later on. But for right now, just know that it's important to complete the web address if you want to go directly to a site. Now, let's see what happens when we don't have the full address. As you can see, the internet can't take you to somewhere that doesn't exist. It's going to search, but if it can't find torrentech.com instead of Torian Tech, it won't try to take you there because there's nowhere to go. But the key takeaways, remember the difference between searching a phrase or searching a web address, and remember that you can always check the search bar to make sure you're on the right website. Yeah, let's move on to the next topic. All right, guys, now that you know how to search online, let's talk about tabs. Tabs are an organizational feature within every web browser, and they allow you to view information simultaneously. Don't get confused with how we got it set up right now. We've actually got two windows open right now, one for Google and one for Safari. Even if it was the same program, it's possible to make additional windows, but that can get kind of messy on your computer. So the guys at Google and Apple, they said, hey, let's make a way for you to see this different information in the same window. This is helpful when maybe you're resetting your password and they're asking you to open your email, but you don't want to close the information on the website you're going to. So what we do is every browser has a nice plus button or something similar. Here it is on Safari. And by clicking this, we open a new tab. That may have been hard to notice because both of them say Google. That's the default site on Google Chrome. But let me show you. Let's go to Torian Tech here. And this is the tab. By clicking on this tab, we go back to Google. Yes. What's great about the tabs organization-wise is that they remember their history. They remember that the sites that you went on that particular tab. So let's say we want to go to youtube.com. YouTube is going to pop up on this tab and we say, hey, those Nike shoes look cool. Let's go to nike.com. Cool. Now we're on the Nike site. If you notice, the Torian Tech tab is still open. We can do whatever on this. Let's say we want to check out dogs, akc.com. We go to that website. We say, hey, we don't care about that. Let's go back to technology. It's ready for us. And we say, hey, we weren't done looking at YouTube. It's not going to take us back to Torian Tech. It's going to take us back to YouTube because the tab remembers where you're headed and where you're going. Now, if you want to open a whole nother window, you can. It just clutters up your screen, and you can do that with new window and start the same process over. Tabs, tabs, tabs. But as you notice, now things get a little ugh. So let's close that out. But that's enough for tabs today. And I'm going to show you how to close them one more time. And on Safari, new tab. Safari, their close button's a little hidden. It only shows up when you hover. But the important thing is if you hover over a tab, you can click on it and it'll take you to a new one. And that's the best way to stay organized online. So let's go on to the next video, y'all. All right, now that you know how to search things, we hinted on this a little bit before, but let's talk about navigating across the web. So searching something and going directly to the website is one thing, but let's say you've been on the internet all day and maybe you just want to go back to something that you saw before. Every web browser has very nifty tools as far as back and front and refresh buttons. This is how you do it on Chrome. And on Safari, you got your back, your forward, and our refresh is actually here within the search bar. This is standard on, like I said, just about every web browser, and that's almost all you need. I've gone ahead and went to apple.com and we're going to check the URL to see that we're on more than just their home page. Anytime there's something after the .com, like you see iPhone 16 here, that usually means that we're not on the home page. And excuse me, most websites, the way we create them to be more user friendly for the user, we make them with similar functions. And almost every website, if you click on the icon on the top left, it will take you back to the home screen. And let's check that out. You notice the URL, it no longer says iPhone 16, it just says apple.com. That means we are at their homepage. We call it the root page when you're a software developer. Now let's say, hey, I kind of want to see what's up with the iPhone 16s. Instead of going to Google and searching iPhone 16, we know we were just on that page. So what do, everybody? We hit the back button, just like that. And we are just on the same screen. Now in reverse, it'll go forward. I know this isn't showing too much action, but as you can see, it goes right back to the Apple home screen. And that's exactly how navigation works. We've only got 2 screens that we've gone through in this process. And so when I do it one more time, it won't go anymore. But you can keep going back and it'll go back as far as you've used that particular tab. We've done all this in the past. And so that's why the history is that. We'll talk about history and favorites later, but you got the gist of navigation. One last thing though, if ever your page is going slow, if ever something happens on the page when you're trying to change pages and things crash, you don't know what's going on, it's very common practice to refresh the page. You don't want to refresh the whole program, the whole web browser. It's way more efficient to just refresh the page with this button here or this button here, And what that does is it tells the web browser, hey, pull that up for me one more time. Because sometimes things happen in web development. Connections miss and information doesn't load. It's not your fault. It's the internet's fault. But instead of wasting all that time going to go find that same information, by just clicking refresh, it churns the page over for you one more time. Try it out yourself. Okay, guys, in this step, we're going to talk about something really, really simple. And if you already know this, feel free to skip it. But a lot of people just aren't comfortable scrolling the web page. It's not always your fault. Sometimes your computer, that's a pop-up, excuse it. Sometimes your computer software, your mouse, your scroll pad, it's just set up in a way that maybe you're not accustomed to. So although you can't see it, to scroll a screen, let's close this here. If you have a MacBook like myself and most modern mouse pads, you use 2 fingers at the same time. And if you move them up or down, it moves the entire screen up or down. Now, depending on what kind of application you're working on, it could also move left and right as well. But we're talking about searching the internet here. And so we're just focusing on scrolling up and down. Now, as everybody knows, 1 finger, it'll move anywhere you want on the screen. But if you want to scroll the screen easily, you just move it up and down. Now, if you notice on the right-hand side here, when I start scrolling and even when I move the mouse over, this nice bar pops up. A third option, instead of pushing the down button, up button, or using the mouse to scroll, is you move over here, grab that, and you can manually drag it up and down to do the exact same thing. Now, for me, this is inconvenient, and so I prefer to use my 2 fingers and touch the screen and move it up and down. No matter what option you choose, the important thing to remember is that the mouse pad or the mouse, it is very, 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 I cannot stress it, it is super sensitive. Meaning, if you've got a finger laying on it or something laying on it somewhere and you're trying to move the mouse, it may not do what you intended to because it's expecting something else. So whenever you browse the internet or use a computer, be sure to keep the mouse pad and mouse clear of anything that isn't meant to be on it at that time. Okay? Keep those loose fingers loose, y'all. But I think you got it, so let's move on to the next step. All right, y'all, we are rolling through it. This next topic is super, super easy. I think all of y'all have had some form of contact with this in the past, but let's just put a little theory to what you already know. What is a link? Well, you can imagine a link being something that takes you to a known location, like a rope that takes you to your secret treehouse or whatever in the dark. You know, it guides you directly to where you're going. What do I mean by that? You've seen them oftentimes on pages, a link. They come in different colors, as you notice. If you're not colorblind, this one's a little bit more purple. This one's a little bit blue. You notice when I hover over it, it gets underlined. This is, the technical term is a hyperlink. And as you know, when you click on them, they take you directly to the page you want to go. These don't always appear as text. This is the URL form of a link. They can also be buttons. Let me show you. Excuse me. Like for instance, this is a button, but it takes us to another page. As you see, the page is different now. Let's go back. See, that was the page /home, but by clicking this button, it links us to this page /contact. But back to the colors. The difference in colors means that if it's purple, you've already clicked on it before. And if it's blue, you never clicked on that before. That can help you find things that you've already been to in the past. Or if you're looking for something specific, it'll let you know you haven't tried that one just yet. Now, like I said, they come in different forms, either string text like this, where they get underlined, or buttons, or pictures, you name it. Maybe even the video items here. But the point is the same. They all take you directly to an address already on the internet, aka a website. All right, guys. So this next one, is going to make your web searching super easy. Maybe not searching, but as you get used to the internet and just using it in your everyday. This is what we call bookmarks or favorites, depending on which web browser you use. Now, the easiest way to explain it is you remember when you used to read books. I know everything's digital now, but back in the day, you would read a book, and when you're about to put it down, you put a bookmarker there so you knew how to find that place easily when you came back to it. And in searching the internet, that's the exact same thing we're doing here. Every web browser has their own high-speed way of doing it, but for the most part, it's as easy as going to a website like toriantech.com, choosing bookmark. There's usually a button to also do it, but let's just show you this. Choosing bookmark, add bookmark, and we're going to say we're going to add this page to our favorites. Give it a little name, Torian Tech. Don't worry about the description. That's just for your own use in case you want to remember why you have it. And voila, let's test this out. What's great is that Safari, for instance, has a nice list that'll show you all of your favorites. You just has a whole list of everything you want to save here. Here's favorites for me. And there we are, Torian Tech. And usually with Safari, it'll also put it on the home screen, but because I've got too many, it didn't save it. The key takeaway here, though, is that whether you're on Safari or Chrome, let's show you how to do it in Chrome. Same thing. You click on bookmarks, bookmark this tab, and voila, you can add I'm not going to do it here because there's no need to bookmark Google, but you get the gist of it. And when you want to pull that up, Google has a nice bookmark manager, which I don't have any saved here, but it would have been very similar to this nice list of bookmarks that I have here. You can always delete them, edit them, add to them later. But the point is, let's show you how it works. We're going to find Torian Tech in our favorites here, and it takes us straight there. This is great for when you've got those websites that you know you go to often, but you can't always think of the name or the address. All right, y'all. So I feel like I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't talk to you a little bit about pop-ups. You see, everything online isn't for you. All the information that may be on the website, it's not always pertinent to that website. Sometimes people sell ads in the form of pop-ups, and yeah, they're kind of hard to notice. But I'm gonna show you some examples so you can at least identify. You won't know everything about pop-ups, you won't know all the various forms, but you can build on it from here. My website, free of pop-ups, I ain't gonna lie, but one that you're used to, CNN. Off the bat, it looks nice and sweet, but look at that. Just like that, now we came to get some news, and now it's telling us about Mountain Head. Maybe you don't like hiking like I do, and so you say, you know what? I don't want to see that. I'm going to pause it. Usually there's a button to actually get rid of it, but clicking on this play button does not do that. That definitely starts the video and lets them make a little bit of money off of you. CNN is nice enough to let you just scroll past it, but let's see another website that you're used to, and this is another form of advertisement pop-up that maybe you don't notice. If you notice here, it's got videos, everything looks kind of on par, but let's see. What's up with this one? You notice this one says sponsored, not exactly like anything else we've seen before. Similar to this one, sponsored, not exactly like anything we've seen else on the page before. That's because that is a native advertisement. By clicking on this, it's not going to take us to a YouTube video, even though that's what it looks like. It's actually going to take us to another website because that's how advertisements work. Now, if you might not be looking for better help, you don't want to do that. So it's best to stay away from anything that's sponsored. Don't click anywhere near this. Lastly, let's show you one that actually pops up. Boom, just like that. Whew. You see, we went to their homepage and they're already trying to give us 10% off our first order. It's really effective. Don't get me wrong, it works. But we maybe just came to get some information. They are nice enough to give us an easy to see close button though. Sometimes it'll say close, sometimes it'll just be an X. But the point is this what you want to look for if something just pops up at you. They're also usually nice enough to gray out everything else to let you know, hey, focus on this pop-up. But we don't care about that, so let's close it. And we're back to our website. These cookies we'll talk about in another episode, but you get the gist of it. Look at that cute dog. At the end of the day, pop-ups are real. They're just a sneaky way for people to sell things without people really noticing. And I feel like once you see one, you'll notice them and you'll be able to spot them all. All right, guys, we're almost done here, but this is another topic that I feel like if I didn't lay it on you, I would be doing you wrong. Security is of the utmost importance, okay? If you're watching this video, you're probably someone who hasn't much experience in the internet and things like that. And I'm sad to say, but scammers out here in 2025, they prey on y'all people. They know that you don't really know what you're doing, and it's really easy to set you up to get your information because you haven't worked with the internet for very long. It's not your fault. So today, I'm going to give you a few tips on security they'll do more work for you than you ever know. When it comes to putting in information like your credit card numbers, paying for things like that, you always want to make sure you're on a secure website, okay? The easiest way to tell you're on a secure website and the actual website is by, you know it, checking the URL/address. How do we do that? Let's recap. We go here. Yes, this is the URL/the address. Let's say you are a member of Bank of America. I'm not. But you want to log into your account, or maybe you got an email from Bank of America telling you to log into your account. Always, always, always check that you are actually on the website before putting any personal information in. Super important. Before you do that, and this is what I really want you to remember from this video. Please write this down if you don't. Always look out for the S in HTTPS when you're ever paying for anything, logging into anything, because the S, it stands for security. Exactly that. Right now, we see the nice logo of Bank of America, but oftentimes what would be here would be a little lock. Yes, like a ching lock. And that is to let you know that you're not only on bankofamerica.com, but you are with a secure connection. Don't believe me? Let's check it out over here. If we type in there, as you can see, connection is secure. That is super important because that means that whenever you do log in or you pay for that nice basket or whatever online, the information that you give the system is going directly to the people you intended to and not a fake website or routing somewhere else, because this part here can't be faked. The website look and feel can be faked, but the security connection, it can't be faked. So as long as you look out for the HTTPS or the lock, or if you're able to actually check like I did with Google Chrome to see if it's secure, those are the must-haves before you do any payments or logging into anything. I know that was long. I'm sorry, but I would hate it for any of you to fall prey to any internet scams because they're out there. So let's move on. And just like that, you know everything you need to know to safely search the internet. This is our last section here. We're just wrapping up everything. Remember, today we talked about what a search bar is. We talked about what a URL/a web address is and how to get there. We talked about how to navigate back and forward. We talked about how to scroll. We talked about how to securely pay for things and make sure you're actually logging in to where you're going. We talked about how to identify and get rid of pop-ups. And we probably talked about one or two things that I can't remember off the top of my head, but you can always go back to the video and watch it from there. Yo, if you enjoyed this video, if it was really simple for you, please leave a comment. Let me know how I did. If I could do better, let me know something. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know something. Go and leave a comment on what you want to see next or what you're having trouble with. My goal is to continue to empower people like you to do better in the digital world. Now, if you're somebody that needs a website or a mobile app or just help with the internet at all, that's what my company Torian Tech does. Feel free to check out our website. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, you name it, and be safe browsing the internet, y'all. Yo, last but not least, if you really enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Maybe even hit the little notification bell when I'm making another video so you already know. It sounds trivial, but it actually helps the YouTube algorithm push my videos more. We're going to talk about algorithms in another video, but first, safely browse the internet, y'all. Peace.